meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and pray for peace and happiness of the mankind. Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoramamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, where Sri Ramakrishna has given very valuable spiritual instructions meant for anybody who is serious and sincere about spiritual path. So, it's all given. Only we have to have desire to practice spirituality in a right, earnest way. No more wasting time in any other things. Concentrating upon the perfection to be achieved in spiritual life. And Sri Ramakrishna has shown by his own life how it is possible to practice spirituality even though we are all surrounded by worldly things and worldly attractions, though we are filled up with tremendous ambitions and likes and dislikes. So, the path is there, but we are not able to see the path because we are totally ignorant of the importance of the spiritual path. Our whole mind is totally involved in the worldly things and worldly attractions, and it cannot really see the spiritual path even though it is there. That's why I told in the beginning that whoever is sincere and serious about spiritual path you can get it, and you will get it in Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is the incarnation of this present time, which is very crucial, where all types of religions and sects are fighting among themselves, causing disharmony and all sorts of violence and hatred going on in the blessed name of religion. It is the greatest irony. So here comes very great importance of Sri Ramakrishna's advent. Please go through his life and teachings. There is no room for any bigotry. There is no room for any fanaticism. There is no room for any narrowness. Here is a person who is well established in equanimity, whose heart is full of love towards all the beings in the creation, and whose heart welcomes everybody to whatever religion he or she belongs to. That means Sri Ramakrishna is assuring everyone to go in their own spiritual way. He doesn't disturb anybody in one's spiritual pursuit. He is just telling what is to be done, how is to be done, and what are the preparations ought to be taken. If these things are given attention to, wherever you are, whatever religion you may be practicing, you come to the same goal. You reach God. You reach God. So, before you reach God, never even for a moment waste time in other things. Life is very short. Human life is very auspicious and propitious to be offered to God. And such a sacred life, just we are neglecting the human qualities and just destroying our human nature and going to a worst state. That's what we are seeing nowadays all over the world, for whatever reason, how people are suffering in spite of everything provided by God to make our life peaceful and happy. So, Sri Ramakrishna is putting the importance on the fact in spiritual life, all the steps from the start to the end have immense benefit and significance. Everything has got its value. So, they give the example of toys, The children, they love toys. They have to be given to them. We should not deprive them of the toys. Though, to the elders, they may be of no use. But the children have to pass through that state of getting little joy out of the toys. In Yoga Vasishtha, a great spiritual text, there is a verse which tells Ajñāta Shiva-tattvanam ākārādyarchanam kratam Yojanadvanya shaktasya kloshadva prikalpate. Beautiful Sanskrit words full of spiritual content. It says, formal objects of worship are devised. Why? For the use of those who have not yet realized the essence of beneficence. Going by miles is devised for those who cannot go by leagues. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example. Suppose you are raising a building, scaffolding is indispensable. He has said it in the gospel. Scaffolding is really important to start the construction in a big way. But when the building work is completed, no one feels the necessity of the scaffolding anymore. So also, the idol worship is necessary in the beginning, but not afterwards. And again, Sri Ramakrishna gives another example, how through small, very effective, simple examples, our day-to-day examples, Sri Ramakrishna is teaching us a great spiritual lesson. As a man begins to learn writing by drawing big scrawls before he tries to master a smaller hand, so a person must acquire the power of mental concentration by first fixing the mind upon forms, and when he has attained success therein, then he may easily fix it upon the formless later on. No harm is done if you worship an image. On the other hand, it helps you to rise up, to cultivate love and devotion, to practice concentration and meditation. Image worship really, really helps. Swami Vivekananda, the greatest apostle of Sri Ramakrishna, in his teachings, he says the first part of religion is Vaidhi Bhakti, devotion. That is the lower phase of worship. In order to attain to the state where we can realize God, we must pass through the concrete, just as you see children learn through the concrete first and gradually come to the abstract. And Swamiji says further, religion is a long, slow process. It's very long and very slow. We are all of us babies here. We may be old in age. We might have studied all the books in the universe. But we are all spiritual babies. These are the words of Swami Vivekananda. We shall have to begin now in the concrete, through forms and words, through prayers and ceremonies. And then, step by step, we shall come to the abstract understanding, abstract realization. And Swami Vivekananda refers to his own life and says, where would I have been if I had not been blessed with the dust of the holy feet of that orthodox image worshipping Brahmin? He is referring to Sri Ramakrishna. We are all born idolaters, and idolatry is good because it is in the nature of man. Who can get beyond it? Only the perfect man, the God man, The rest are all idolaters. People talk loosely that idolatry is wrong, and everyone swallows it at the present time without questioning. Swamiji says, I once thought so in the same way, and to pay the penalty of that, I had to learn my lesson sitting at the feet of a man who realized everything through idols. He is referring to Sri Ramakrishna. If such Sri Ramakrishnas are produced by idol worship, what will you have? The reformers' creed or any number of idols? Take 1,000 idols more if you can produce Ramakrishnas through idol worship, and may God speed you. So, it is provided by God Himself. He wants to be worshipped through images. You are objectifying God. You need something. You can't straight away meditate upon the abstract. If you close your eyes, what do you see? Blank. In that blank mind, what do you think? Unless you have got clear conception of what you are thinking about. So, in order to make it easy, they give the divine form. And the divine form helps you to come closer and closer and finally get merged into the deity. You can see Sri Ramakrishna's life itself, how from the beginning unto the end, he was always full of tremendous vision of Divine Mother Kali in his heart all the time. He said, I am seeing her all the time, not simply coming once in a while. No. 24 hours, days and months and years, all through his life, he was seeing the Divine Mother. And whenever he would speak, he would say, it is not my speaking at all, it is Divine Mother speaking through me. Such tremendous love and dedication, such tremendous faith and shraddha in the ideal, spiritual ideal, that is shown by Sri Ramakrishna. That we should try to cultivate. Religion becomes possible only when you have tremendous belief and faith and shraddha in what you are doing, not diverting your attention to anything else. You have to be very, very strict when it comes to the matter of spiritual life. Otherwise you won't get any result. So in order to be successful in the spiritual path, in order to be successful in the spiritual life, most important fact is that you should try to minimize your desires, which is rather very difficult. Is it ever possible to control the desires? Is it ever possible for a person to be desireless? Sri Ramakrishna says, God cannot be seen so long as there is the slightest taint of desire. And then Sri Ramakrishna tells, well, have your minor desires satisfied and renounce the major ones by right reasoning and discrimination. The things which bother you constantly, such desires must be taken out of the mind. Otherwise you will not be free from botheration at all. As long as you are being bothered, you can never think of God and you can never really taste spiritual life. And Sri Ramakrishna tells further in the Gospel, the more a man's attachment to the world, the less he is likely to attain knowledge. The less his attachment to the world, the more is the probability of his gaining knowledge. The spiritual knowledge he meant. The secular knowledge, whatever you are getting by associating yourself in the worldly ways, they are all temporary. They won't give you real peace or real happiness, though they may give a kind of happiness, a kind of joy you may get, but there is absolutely no comparison for the peace and happiness that you get through spiritual life and spiritual path. Swami Vivekananda also says in his teachings, so long as there is desire, no real happiness can come. All happiness which comes from the senses will eventually bring pain. There was a particular devotee, well placed in his profession, and very good family person he was. Many times he would come and discuss spiritual matters. At one time, he came and was talking to me about the problems he was facing in his family life. And in course of talking, I just mentioned a Sanskrit words which tells samsara sagaram ghoram. The life in the world is really terrible. And that person who was talking to me, he was smiling. That smiling had a meaning. He said, Swamiji, I am realizing it. I am realizing. It was a fact. He was passing through tremendous suffering. He was not able to decide what next step to be taken. Because on one side there is tremendous attachment, on the other side tremendous suffering. Because of the things happening not according to his likes. So, likes and dislikes, raga dvesh, they propel everyone's life and everyone's actions. Raga dvesh. Recently, a terrible tragedy, human tragedy I should say, occurred in New York. To what extent the dvesh, the hatred will go? Solid example. Solid example. Hatred. How can a person cherishing any type of hatred can come near God at all? Simply talking doesn't bring you towards God. It wants your practical life, then only you will be able to come near God, not otherwise. Swami Vivekananda also says in his teachings that so long as there is desire, no real happiness can come. And until a person really conquers the desires for pleasures, the truth will not shine in him. Until a man has put effort for controlling his pleasures, for controlling his diversions, truth will not shine in him. So long as these desires, these vain desires of our senses, as long as these are clamoring and as it were dragging us outwards, every moment making us slaves to everything outside, to a little color, a little taste, a little touch, notwithstanding all our pretensions, how can the truth express itself in our hearts? So long as there is desire or want, it is a sure sign that there is imperfection. A perfect free being cannot have any desire. Therefore, it has been taught by all the spiritual teachers, desire nothing, give up all desires, and be perfectly satisfied. There's a famous verse, again I am taking from Yoga Vasishta, a very great spiritual scripture. Shruyatam jnana sarvasvam shutva chaiva vadaryatam bhogecha matrako bandha tatyago moksha uchyate. Listen to this. The essence of all jnana, knowledge. And having listened to this, digest this well. The desires for enjoyment is alone is bondage. The renunciation of that desire is said to be liberation. And again, Sri Ramakrishna gives a solution how to control or organize your desires. Of course, man is born on account of the desires, and he is born to fulfill the unfulfilled desires. These desires pushed him to a particular birth, and he is working on those desires. So, is it ever possible to eradicate all the desires from the mind? Sri Ramakrishna knows this problem, and then he gives the solution. Well, there will be desires, no doubt, but you must know how to organize them, organizing them. Don't be reckless in following desires, but be controlled. First of all, use your discriminating faculty, buddhi it's called, intellect, to discriminate what is really good, what is really bad. You have to take really strong steps to avoid those desires which are harmful to you, which are taking you away, far away from God and far away from all spiritual unfoldment. So, in order to do that, the bad desires must be replaced or must be overpowered by good desires. So you have to engage your mind in such healthy desires. That means you have to engage yourself in healthy activities by which your heart, spiritual heart, gets expanded, by which you feel tremendous love towards your fellow beings and tremendous sympathy for the suffering of the humanity. So, it is called selfless activity, which is called nishkama karma. One should engage in such activities, and activities become selfless when you are able to connect yourself to God. You have to feel that whatever you are doing is for the love of God. With that attitude, if you keep doing things, then you won't become egoistic. On the other hand, you become more humble and you will develop all spiritual qualities required for spiritual path and spiritual life. So, concentration, meditation, prayers, selfless activity, all these are coming under the group good desires. So engage your free mind with such type of good desires which increases your love and devotion to God, which makes you deeply interested in spiritual path. In order to do that, you will have to have really good association. You will have to be in such surroundings and circumstances where you have those spiritual vibrations of peace and harmony. Then it should be possible to keep all the bad samskaras under sufficient control. Then because of the good propensities becoming more and more strong, you will develop tremendous liking in spiritual life and you begin to practice earnestly, and you feel even while practicing more peace and happiness. And that's the way we should use our human life. Sri Ramakrishna has shown us the goal of human life is to see God. All our energies, resources must be utilized towards that end. If we are not doing that, the opportunity given as a human being is lost. We don't know whether we are born again as human beings or something else. Who knows? But one should remember that whatever action we do, good or bad, we have to reap. Wherever we may go, wherever we are born, suffering is suffering, pain is pain. That's the truth. So, bearing this spiritual idea, try to follow sincerely in a humble way. Sincerity counts. Sri Ramakrishna immediately comes to you if you are sincere and honest in your spiritual pursuit. And he himself will provide you all things required for your growth. Page 730. To Girish Chandra Ghosh, Sri Ramakrishna was telling, Narendra, that is Swami Vivekananda, is a boy of a very high order. He excels in everything, vocal and instrumental music and studies. Again, he has control over his sense organs. He is truthful and has discrimination and dispassion. These are all remarks done by Sri Ramakrishna. So many virtues in one person. Then he asks Master Mashe, what do you say? Isn't he unusually good? M answered, yes sir, he is. Master, aside to M, he said, referring to Girish, Sri Ramakrishna said, he has great earnestness and faith. Immediately Yam looked at Girish and marveled at his tremendous faith. Girish had been coming to Sri Ramakrishna only a short time and had already recognized Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual power. To Yam, he seemed a familiar friend and kinsman related to him by the strong bond of spirituality. Girish was one of the gems in the necklace of the Master's devotees. Girish was in his previous life a very wretched person. He himself has said, I have committed Himalayan blunders in my life. And such a person totally got transformed coming in contact with Sri Ramakrishna. Really, really very great, fortunate person he was. Narayan asked the Master whether he would sing. Sri Ramakrishna sang of the Divine Mother. Cherish my precious Mother Shama tenderly within, O mind. May you and I alone behold her, letting no one else intrude. O mind, in solitude enjoy her, keeping the passions all outside. Take but the tongue, that now and again it may cry out, O Mother, Mother. Suffer no breath of base desire to enter and approach us there, but bid true knowledge stand on guard, alert and watchful evermore. Then he sang as if he were one of the afflicted souls of the world. O Mother, ever blissful as thou art, do not deprive thy worthless child of bliss. My mind knows nothing but thy lotus feet. The king of death scowls at me terribly. Tell me, Mother, what shall I say to him? Again Sri Ramakrishna sang about the bliss of the Divine Mother. Behold my mother playing with Shiva, lost in an ecstasy of joy, drunk with a draught of celestial wine. She reels and yet she does not fall. The devotees listen to the songs in deep silence. After a few moments, Sri Ramakrishna said, I have a slight cold, so I couldn't sing well. Gradually it became dusk. The shadow of evening fell on Calcutta. For the moment, the noise of the busy metropolis was stilled. Ganges was flowing in all serenity. Gongs and conch shells proclaimed the evening worship in many Hindu homes. Devotees of God set aside their worldly duties and turned their minds to prayer and meditation. This joining of day and night, this mystic twilight always created an ecstatic mood in the Master. The devotees seated in the room looked at Sri Ramakrishna as he began to chant the sweet name of the Divine Mother. After the chanting, he began to pray. What was the need of prayer to a soul in constant communion with God? Did he not rather want to teach erring mortals how to pray? Addressing the Divine Mother, he said, O Mother, I throw myself on thy mercy. I take shelter at thy hallowed feet. I don't want bodily comforts. I don't crave name and fame. I don't seek the 8 occult powers. Be gracious and grant that I may have pure love for thee, O love unsmitten by desire, untainted by any selfish ends, a love craved by the devotee for the sake of love alone. And grant me the favor, O Mother, that I may not be deluded by thy world-bewitching Maya, that I may never be attached to the world, to lust and gold, conjured up by thy inscrutable Maya, O Mother. There is no one but thee whom I may call my own. Mother, I don't know how to worship. I am without austerity. I have neither devotion nor knowledge. Be gracious, Mother, and out of thy infinite mercy grant me love for thy lotus feet. Every word of this prayer, uttered from the depths of his soul, stirred the minds of the devotees. The melody of his voice and the childlike simplicity of his face touched their hearts very deeply. Shall stop here. Any questions? You're welcome to ask. So, everything is very clear from Sri Ramakrishna's point of view. What is that? One is worldly life, another is spiritual life. Worldly life is always going on by the force of ragadvesh, likes and dislikes, attachment and aversion. Spiritual life goes by the force of love, kindness, humbleness. So, the marked difference is there between the spiritual path and the worldly way. Some people, they pose themselves as spiritual, but if you observe this, their activities and things, it will be difficult to really understand what type of spirituality such people are trying to practice. Anyway, it's a fact. Everywhere there will be always some fakes will be there. But we shall not worry about the fakes. Let me try to be all right. Let me not bother about other things. It is God's responsibility. He will take care of everybody. Why should you bother about that? You can't do anything. And it is not in your power to do anything at all. The only thing is how you can go yourself properly, in a straight way, how you can go towards God. That's important. And here Sri Ramakrishna is there. Message of Upanishads are there. Clear cut. Read them, assimilate them, practice them. That's all. Any question? Spirituality depends upon practice only. No practice, no spirituality. I am telling the secret, though I am not supposed to say. Because people always want everything to be okayed. When they come and say, Swamiji, I can't do this. All right, okay. I can do this. Okay. Then you are a very fine person. Oh, Swamiji is very kind. He is okaying me. That type of okay business, no, will not work. Of course, in the beginning, in order to encourage you, in order to inspire you, I may say a little bit, right, okay, you can do this. But you must go further. So, be always in touch with spiritual ideas. Be always in spiritual atmosphere, surroundings, as much as you can. And practice sincerely. If you utter God's name even once sincerely, it's tremendous effect. It has got tremendous effect upon the system. God's name is really powerful. Tremendously powerful. And there's a famous song composed by a very great saint who lived in India, in Karnataka state. His name is Purandar Das. He said, "O God, what do I need of you? Your name is enough for me. It is the name that saved. A man dying, he uttered your name and immediately was saved from dangers." And another episode he tells, you see, there is, of course, you have not studied Mahabharata. Those who have studied, you will know. When Draupadi was about to be humiliated in the court of Duryodhan, she uttered the name of Lord Krishna, and that saved her from danger. So he gives lots of examples this way, how your name has saved everyone, and what do I need of you? I need your name, that's all. Of course, in a way to express the importance and significance of the greatness of the divine name, that saint has composed this song, beautiful song. It is done. Well, divine name has its power, and the mantra is nothing but divine name. All the divine power is, divine potentiality is just in that name, that mantra. Just like a seed. If you utter it, it will have its power, it becomes activated. It becomes activated. That you have to do. But practice is same. But progress depends upon one's own samskaras, hidden samskaras. Mind is full of samskaras brought down from all your previous lives, plus the samskaras created in your present life. You can imagine what sort of life it would be. Any question? Stop. Program in our ashram in Bangalore when I was in India. He is a Christian, but he became tremendously devoted to Lord Krishna, and see his voice, how nice it is. Beautiful voice. Just now you heard the music, classical music. He has learned beautifully well, and thousands of people come for his program, full of devotion. So, whatever religion he may belong to, but he belonged to God, finished. That's how, when that element is there, then all the devotees come automatically. Anyway, chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. Our name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou, who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous reign tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.